G'day folks, it's Cortezerino, and today I'm going to show you how to build my fully automatic oak and rooted dirt farm. And when I say fully automatic, I mean fully automatic. All you have to do is turn this thing on. So we've got a stone generator up the back, which will make a magic little line of stone appear here. Then we bone meal some moss down the bottom. That will turn the stone to moss, and we try and grow an azalea tree. If we get one, we bone meal that, and that'll grow into a great big tree, and you can watch it through this lovely little window. And then everything gets pushed across and destroyed by TNT. And here you can see it in action, so we're bone mealing all of that. We didn't get a tree that time, but you can see our pistons are pushing across. There we go, we've got a tree. That'll get pushed up 2 blocks and pushed across. And you can hear our TNT going off over there. So I ran this for an hour, and this is what I got. So we got a little bit over 19 stacks of oak logs, a little bit over 5 stacks of rooted dirt, and you also get a tiny bit of cobblestone. And this thing does guzzle the bone meal. It needs lots and lots. So what I recommend is combining it with Ilmango's bone meal farm, and then you'll never ever run out. And I'll actually have a world download for you. I'll have this world ready to go. So we're just doing the tutorial for my farm, but I've got Ilmango's one set up here as well, if you want to include that. And I'll put 2 material lists in the video description, one for my machine and one for Ilmango's, if you decide to build that as well. So anyway, let's get started, and this is not mandatory, but in case you want to measure out how much room you're going to need for your machine, it's going to take up an area that is 27 blocks by 18, so you might want to build this rectangle, but you don't have to. Okay, if you've built the rectangle, then what you want to do is come into the 8th block, which is that one, and then count in 1, 2, 3, 4, and place some deep slate bricks on the 5th. If you haven't bothered with the rectangle, you can place that wherever you like. And we're going to build this up so it is 6 blocks tall. And we'll put 2 ladders right there, oak trapdoor, and 3 ladders on top. Then grab some glass on this side. Next to our trapdoor, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then coming out in this direction, we're going to place 15. And once you've done that, we're just going to come along to the ends of our glass and extend these and make ourselves a little rectangle, and then just fill all of this in. And this platform's just so we can reach all of our controls and we're safe from the mobs while we're operating our machine. So come along to our pillar, look down at that block, and we're going to count 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On blocks 6 and 7, we're going to place a double chest with another double chest on top. Now look from the back. Next to that chest, we're going to knock out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. And we'll fill these in with your block of choice. I'm using white concrete, but stone bricks would be just fine. And powered rail on top of those. On the one next to the chest, we're going to place a block there, then grab an observer, look up, and place it just above that block. Now into the backs of the chests, we're going to place 2 hoppers like so, then 1 sideways into that hopper, then 2 composters on top. And these are just to compost some of the excess waste we'll get from the machine, so you can come down here at any time and get a little bit more bone meal. So now come along to our rails again. What we're going to do is looking down at the rail, starting on the end, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 observer blocks. And now we're going to start building some slices. And this is what I mean by a slice. We're going to build one of these on top of all 7 observer blocks, and they're all absolutely the same. They're all identical. So I'll show you how to build one, and you can build the other 6 right next to it. Just remember, they're all just on top of these observers. And we're going to start with a dispenser facing straight up. So not a dropper, this is a dispenser. And then looking from this side, so toward our ladder, just hold shift. We're going to place a hopper leading into that dispenser with a powered rail on top, and then a moss block on top of the dispenser. Now on the opposite side, we're going to place a temporary block, then 2 blocks, and you can delete your temporary block. We'll place a redstone repeater, put that on maximum delay, bit of redstone dust, and then place a sticky piston next to the moss, and then a regular piston on top of that. So I'm just building one of these. You might want to place all your dispensers and all the different bits at the same time. Okay, now looking down at our repeater, we're going to place an observer like so, and above that a dropper facing straight up. Now into the dropper, just above our redstone dust, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 hoppers, all in a line. On the last hopper, we're going to place a bit of powered rail, then a piece of redstone dust, and a repeater like so. No delay needed on that one. And then come around to this side, so just above your moss, and holding shift, we're going to place a dispenser this time. So it's just above our dropper, facing toward our piston. And then just grab some dirt blocks, and we're going to place 3 above our hoppers. They'll eventually get blown up by our TNT. It's just to help stop items we don't want falling into our hoppers. Now just above our powered rail, we're going to place a glass block with a stone block on top of that. We'll place 1 to this side and then 5 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And underneath the last one, we'll place a block of obsidian. Now we just need a temporary block on the end. We'll place a note block there and break that block. And a piece of white concrete on the end. We'll place dust on the concrete and a target block on top of that one. Then we'll go a regular piston, look from this direction, place it like so. Just above that, we'll place a sticky piston. And on top of this dust, we're going to place another block with a piece of redstone dust on top, a redstone torch right there. Then look at your torch and place an observer block. Now we want a regular piston, look up at the back of your observer, place him like so. Then grab some stone. We're going to go 1, 2 stone with some glass on top and then break that one. And then we'll grab our concrete again, come over to this stone block and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 above like so. We'll place some redstone dust there. Then looking in this direction, 2 sticky pistons with an oak log on the end. That must be an oak log, otherwise our trees won't grow. Then grab observers and we're going to place 2 on top of our pistons, both facing in that direction. And then grab your sticky pistons again. On top of this observer, we're going to place 4, all in a line, and they will all have oak logs on the ends. And just behind our pistons, we're going to place 2 blocks right there, both of those with redstone dust, and then we'll place a glass block on top of the piston, another one diagonally out above our oak logs, then 1 obsidian and 4 more glass. This little bit up the top isn't strictly necessary, but it keeps the machine a lot cleaner when there are leaves going everywhere. So that's 1 slice. Just go ahead and build the other 6 right next to it. So when you're done, you should be looking like that. So now I want you to come down below to where we've got this rail here. So up this end, we're just going to place a block on the end of our rail. And over on this end, we'll place a block of redstone there. Then a white concrete and 1, 2, 3 powered rail. We'll put a regular rail, another powered rail, then a block with a lever on top, and we'll put a hopper minecart right there. So when you switch it on, that'll take bone meal to fill up your dispensers. And then what we're going to do is place some chests above. So we'll place a double chest right there and a single. Now come along to this block on the end of our rail, and we're going to place a white concrete block each side of it. 1 on top, redstone torch, and a piece of dust, and an iron trapdoor. Then place deep slate bricks above our torch. The trapdoor will pop up, and we'll put 2 white glass right there. Then we'll waterlog our trapdoor. Now grab another deep slate brick, place it above our water with glass on top of that. We'll put 2 glass right there, and just put a temporary one and another glass like so. And then we'll put a water bucket right there, and that should run right to the end. And that water's just to push all the items over to our composters. So grab some hoppers. We're going to place 2 facing straight down into our composters. Another 2 right there, and then 1 leading sideways like so. We'll put a glass block on the end there, and then a regular block. And then grab some deep slate, and starting right here, we're just going to run these all the way along, finishing just next to our note block there. These are completely not necessary, but I think it makes the machine look nice when it's done. So on this side, we're going to do the same thing, just run them along, finishing at our note block. Okay, come back underneath where our redstone torch is. We're going to place a sea lantern next to that last hopper. It's just to stop mobs spawning. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 white concrete, then a temporary one on top, break that. And then on the end here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Then grab some comparators, place one on the sea lantern facing into the block with the torch, and another one in the opposite direction. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3 redstone dust. Then grab an observer just above that block that's sticking up, look up and place your observer right there. And then in this direction, 1, 2, 3 comparators, and all of these on 4 ticks of delay. Next, I want you to come up here, and where we've got this extended piston, I want you to place a glass block next to the stone, one covering that gap, and another one on top covering the other gap. And we're going to place 3 more in the exact same spot on the other side. Now come along to the center here. We're going to knock out that block and place a bucket of water just down the bottom there, and then replace that block. Then break the glass, we'll place a bucket of lava there, and you can replace your glass, and that should be held in nicely by our blocks on the sides. Okay, come along to our trapdoor here, and just next to it we're going to place 3 double chests. And then this is optional, but I'm going to build a little AFK room right here. So a button on the floor with an iron door behind it. Come around to this side with glass will come out 2 with an extra 2 on each side. And then we're just going to build a tiny little room here. We'll place another button on the floor so we can get back out. Now we do need a sticky piston right there facing straight up. So go ahead and put that in. But once you've done that, just grab your glass again, build up your walls, and then on top we're going to go white concrete, sea lantern, and white concrete. So these chests are going to be the collection for our oak wood and rooted dirt. So I've only got 3 here. If you're going to be AFKing for a long time, you've got room to add an extra 3 down below. So what I want you to do is come around the back here, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3 hoppers leading into those. And then another 11 in a line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now grab deep slate bricks. We'll place 7 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just behind our ladder, we're going to put 1 there. And this will be 7 as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're just going to run this along and connect them. You can grab some sea lanterns, and we'll place 1 in each corner, and then back to our deep slate bricks. We're just going to fill in this area. So that's how you should be looking when you're done, guys. So now I want you to come along here and find the block right in between these sea lanterns. So right in the middle, just place a temporary block there, block of obsidian on top, and break that. So we're going to land our TNT on this so we don't have to worry about timing it to explode perfectly in midair. So now what we're going to do is come along to our ladder, place an obsidian on top of that, 1 on top of that hopper there, and now we're just going to outline our little platform here. So we're just building it out on the diagonal here, and run this all the way around. And just on the edge of our hoppers there, run this all the way over, whoops, and finish right there. And then grab some water, and we're just going to add a line of it all the way along here. So that'll push all our drops over to our hoppers. Okay, so now we need another minecart to run along these rails and refill our dispensers with bone meal. So we're going to come over to the end here, place a block on the end of the rail, and you can put a lever there and power the rail. Now back up to this end, what we're going to do is add an extra block right there, then a temporary one on top, break that. You can place a lever there, and then regular rail and powered rail in every other spot, and you can place your hopper minecart right there. So it has to be a hopper minecart because they're going to suck the items straight out of that chest. So we'll put a double chest on top there and a single. Okay, come along to where our redstone block is. You can see above that we've got this concrete block. We're going to add 2 more, then a sea lantern, and then 1, 2, 3, and then a temporary one on top, and break that. And you can put redstone dust all the way along the top like so. Now grab another temporary block, we'll place it on the end, and then we'll go a block on top, a block there, and a block on that side, and then break your temporary one. We'll grab some repeaters, we'll go 1 there on a 2-tick delay, and another one on that side, once again on a 2-tick delay. Then we'll put an iron trapdoor right there. Then looking at the trapdoor, place an observer block. And on top of that observer, we're going to look down and place another one. Then we'll put a block on top, a block right there, and then temporary one beside it, and break that. Grab a repeater, we're going to place it facing in that direction on a 2-tick delay. And then just here, we're going to put another block and a piece of redstone dust. And now we just need to rig up our on switch. So you can see our glass platform there. Just right there, we're going to add 3 temporary blocks. Then look toward our minecarts. We'll place a sticky piston and you can break those blocks. Put a redstone lamp on top with a lever. So that's the on and off button. Now swing around to this side. Put your back to the target block. Grab another observer, place it against the sticky piston on top, and a block right there. Okay, so now we're going to follow this line of redstone, and right where you can see that observer, we're going to place another one exactly the same right above it. So look up and place it against that hopper. There we go. And then grab some white concrete. We're going to place 2 right there. And then 1 against the sticky piston, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in front like so. Then redstone repeaters, looking in this direction, we're going to place 2 right there. Both of those on maximum delay, and then comparator facing into that block. Another one in the opposite direction, and then redstone dust, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now you see this block here, we're going to go look at that, but we're going to go look at it from down below right here. So we want a sticky piston against the side of that block facing straight down. Then grab an observer and looking in the same direction I am, place it like so. And this is really important. This bit of concrete here, we need to replace that with glass. And then you can put your redstone dust back on top. Okay, back up the top here, we're going to place an observer on top of that sticky piston, temporary block on top of that, and looking at that temporary block from this side, place another observer. So those observers are facing in opposite directions. Then grab some glass, we'll put 1 there, and another, and now we can give this a test. So I'll just put a button there, power that up. Those dispensers should fire, and then our double piston extenders. Yep, that's all working properly. We can get rid of that. Okay, now grab an iron trapdoor. We're going to place it right there with an observer looking down at it and a sticky piston facing straight up right there. Now grab some glass and we're going to go 1, 2, 3 like so. Then on top of that, another 3 with an extra one there. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then against these pistons, glass there, and run that all the way along. Then grab yourself some hoppers, holding shift, we're going to place 1 into that chest, and 1 into that chest. Then looking down here, we're going to put 2 facing straight down, a double chest on top, and a single like so. And then we're going to run hoppers leading into that one all the way along, finishing right there. Okay, look in this direction, place an observer on top of that sticky piston with a note block behind it and 2 glass blocks and 2 redstone dust. Then looking in this direction, 2 redstone repeaters. This one will be on a 3 tick delay, and that's going to run into a concrete block. Then 3 redstone dust, another repeater, this one on a 4 tick delay, and that's going to run into a block. Okay, now we're going to turn the corner and go a repeater, then a block with a block up on their diagonal, then 1, 2, 3 repeaters, a block with another block on their diagonal. Now, this repeater is going to be on a 2 tick delay, but the others are going to be on maximum delay. Okay, grab yourself a temporary block. We're going to place it right there with a slab next to that, then break it. We'll put another temporary block on top of the slab with a slab there and break that. And this is to power all our other pistons. So we're going to put dust, staircasing all the way up like so. Then we're going to start over here, grab some dust. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put a repeater like so. No delay on that one. That's going to run into a block. And we'll put a block of glass there. And another repeater on the end. That one is going to be on a 2 tick delay. Okay, now we want a sticky piston just against that repeater, and we want that facing straight down, like so. Then look in this direction, and we'll put an observer below the piston. And then down here, I want you to grab some glass. We'll place it right there. That has to be a glass block so we don't block off the redstone. And then temporary block on top, break that one. And on top of the glass, we'll do a repeater right there on a 4 tick delay. Now, I've got no bone meal in the machine, but you should be able to turn it on now and make sure everything's functioning properly. So you'll see our first line of stone is being pushed across, and we'll let it run one more time. So just give it a test now to make sure it's all good. Yep, that's working properly. Okay, come along to the top here, and we're going to do a bunch of storage for our bone meal. So we'll start with a double chest there. Now place these slowly. So in front of the observer, place a single chest. Let your machine do a cycle, then turn into a double chest, and that'll fire again. Then we're going to put a single hopper facing straight down into that chest, and then 1, 2, 3 into those chests, and we'll put double chests on top and come around to the back, 4 hoppers into the backs of those, come around to this side, and we'll make double chests again. This time we're just doing 3 hoppers, so 1, 2, 3. We'll put a double chest on that side and a single right there. So that's a bit of a funny way to do the chests, but if you're using El Mango's bone meal farm to resupply this machine, that setup of the chests will evenly distribute all the bone meal to where you need it to go, and you'll also actually end up getting a bit of extra bone meal out of that bone meal machine. So this will store it, you can take it away and use it for a different project. So to link it up with his machine, what you want to do is put 3 hoppers into the backs of those chests, and then grab some glass. I'll put 1 in the corner there, 1 up above, and then you can just encircle your hoppers like so. Grab some packed ice. We'll put 4 on the end, and grab your glass again. You can run this all the way up to the end. Put a slab right there, bucket of water, and that's how you can get your bone meal to come in. So before you switch this on, make sure it's stocked up with bone meal. Once you have these chests and this line of hoppers here all filled up with bone meal, you can then start your machine, and this thing will run forever and never run out. And just out of an abundance of caution, I'm going to put a little obsidian guard here to protect our machine. It really doesn't need it, so this is 100% optional. I just think it looks nice and it makes the machine look a bit cleaner. So we're going to skip to obsidian and then place 1. And on this side, skip to obsidian and place 1. And these are going to be 6 tall in total. So we've placed 1 already. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With the sea lantern on top, and we'll do the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extras on top, and a sea lantern. And I'll just run this all the way over. So it's possible it offers a little bit of protection there, but it doesn't really. So the last thing to do is rig up our TNT duper. So come along to this note block here, and looking down on that, we're going to place observer blocks in a great big line, and we're going to place 20 in total. So once you've got those in place, on the second from the top, we're going to place a deep slate brick, and then we're going to place 11 more out toward our blast chamber. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know why that guy wasn't appearing. Then we're going to turn the corner, place 2 more, and then a sticky piston on the end. And then we're going to grab redstone dust, run it all the way along except the very last one. That last one we're just going to put a repeater. Okay, then we'll go a temporary block, sea lantern, temporary block, 2 concrete, and break those. Then come to this side and we'll put 2 extra blocks there. 1 on top of the observer, then another temporary block on the end, a hopper leading into that one, then hold shift and lead another hopper into the first hopper. Then inside of one of these hoppers, just place a single item. I'm just doing a piece of dirt. Then you can grab a comparator, look in this direction, place it on top of the sea lantern. You can see it lighting up because it's reading that dirt. Then 2 comparators there with 2 concrete blocks on top of our hoppers. Now we need a dropper right there with a hopper leading into its face. Inside of the dropper, we're going to place 4 items. So I'm just putting 4 bits of dirt. Then grab a redstone repeater, face it in that direction on maximum delay, and then a redstone torch right there. So this machine's just an item counter. So by having 4 items in there, I'm saying every time the machine does 4 full cycles, drop a TNT. So if you want to slow it down, add more items. If you want to speed it up, take more items out. So 4 is running pretty quickly. I think you could get away with 6 if you wanted to. So now come along to this sticky piston, and this is going to be hard to build in survival. You might want to pillar up with some scaffolding, but we'll place a slime block on the end, 1 underneath, and 1 out in front, and then grab 2 temporary blocks, then a sea lantern underneath, and break those. On this side, we are going to place a glass block, and then we'll put a temporary block there. I'm going to go glass there, then 1, 2, 3 glass. We'll need another temporary block, glass there, break that one. Over here we'll go 2 obsidian and break that. So that's how you should be looking. Then grab a fence gate, place it there, open it up, and a bucket of water on top of the glass. Okay, we're going to place the TNT soon. Just a little bit of advice, place the TNT last. You don't want to accidentally set it off. So on top of our obsidian, we're going to put 2 slime blocks with another one right there, then a detector rail with a minecart on top, and any kind of wall. I'm just using a cobblestone wall right there. Then down the bottom here against that slime block, place a coral fan. Then grab some glass, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Then we're all done. You can place your TNT just underneath the wall. And that's it, guys. We're all done. This machine is ready to be loaded up with bone meal, but before we do that, let's just quickly fix 2 mistakes I made while doing the tutorial. First one is that sea lantern I put in the wrong spot. It should be right there, so we're not powering that hopper. So you can move the sea lantern over, we'll put our dust back and our comparator back there. So that's how it should look. So you could use glowstone as well, because that won't power that hopper either, or you could just use a glass block. And the other one, same thing over here, that block there should be a glass block, so we're not powering that hopper, so put glass in with our redstone on top. So that's it, guys. That is how to build my oak and rooted dirt farm. So if you liked the video, guys, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And remember, there's a world download in the description if you want to give it a test run and make sure you're happy with it. Even though there's a world download though, I think it might be easier to build this thing following the tutorial. So thanks for watching, I'm Cortezerino, I'll see you later.